Okay, let's get started. Hello, everybody. My name's Ellis, and I work here in marketing for Magnolia, and I'd like to welcome you to today's DXplained episode, Global Content Rollouts and Live Copy. It's great to see so many join. So what exactly is DXplained? The principle is very straightforward. It stands for Digital Experience Explained, where we take the most pressing digital experience topics that's raised by our customers, our partners, or those new to Magnolia, and we explain that topic via a very short 30-minute fireside chat and demo. Today, I'm joined by our highly experienced solution architects, Tobias, who works daily with Magnolia customers and partners, enabling them to get the very best out of Magnolia. Also joining us today is Laura, whose core focus is making highly valuable and innovative product improvements to make Magnolia the very best DXP and ensure that customers deliver the very best digital experiences to their customers. Today, we'll be focusing on when and how to use Magnolia's key features to support content rollouts and reuse across multiple sites, brands, languages, and markets. Why? Because we believe that it's very important to plan in advance what your global content strategy in a multi-site setup is going to look like to enable you to get the most out of Magnolia and your editorial teams. So before we get started, if you have any comments, reactions, or any questions throughout the session, please feel free to drop them into the Q&A tab, and we will address all questions at the end. Later during the session, Tobias will give us a demo of live copy, but let's kick off things with Laura. She's going to take us through what considerations as content strategists you will need to make to understand if live copy is the right tool for you. And we'll also take a brief look at the alternatives Magnolia can offer when live copy might not be the right answer. So Laura, I think let's kick things off with you.
Great, thank you, Alice. So let's start. First of all, we believe that when your digital presence spans across multiple countries, languages, and brands, you need to take important decisions about content strategy. For example, how to structure your content effectively, how to use the time of your editorial staff most efficiently so they're not overwhelmed by repetitive tasks, how to ensure brand consistency is maintained across your communications. Of course, even each one of us on this call today have different use cases in mind, different scenarios, different capacity in the editorial teams, and maybe different technical capability. So I'm mentioning this because there's not one same answer for all of us, but what we want to cover today is how does Magnolia come towards you and your needs, and what tools we offer to cover your multi needs. So let's start by taking a quick look at the options that we have. I cover a few alternatives before we dive deeper into live copy. So from the decision-making tree that we have put together for you, you can actually see from the left-hand side, we have the most simple scenario if you want. So when your global content is basically 100% the same and your website structure is identical across all of your languages, what you have is a single tree structure in which the translations are taken care for you from the system. So this one is the first use case. For the second use cases, we want to talk to you about reusable content. So this is when you don't share so much content across your website locations, but you want to reuse some of your content and or variations of it. You can see your option to the right-hand side of the tree that we are presenting today. So we have different features. For example, content apps that helps you to manage raw content when you share a small amount of content between sites for selective reuse. We also have the campaign manager that allows you to manage reusable components. You share a fragment of your page, for example, a banner, across multiple pages. Last but not least, we also have personalization capabilities when you create variants of your content according to your visitor traits and needs. So now we can probably go to the core of the webinar today, so we can cover what is live copy and what use cases does it cover. First of all, then, what is live copy? Live copy is a powerful tool that manage multi-site installations and basically helps you to reduce the efforts of duplicating content. What does live copy allows you to do is to quickly create live copies of a master site. These copies will maintain a live relationship with your master site. And when you update content on your master site, you can flexibly enable or disable these changes across live copy. So what are the benefits? Efficiency through content reuse. So you share your global content across multiple websites, roll out your updates smoothly in one go, and no duplication of efforts. It helps governance, so you can easily manage and protect your brand content or any other content that you want to remain the same across your offer. You also offer full flexibility for localized content, so you easily adapt the content that needs to be specific to one market, and you manage that through your local teams. So, what we want to also do is quickly summarize what live copy does for you. The use case that we represent is that most of your content, when it's shared 80-90% globally, is managed by live copy. You have a centralized team managing the global content, whilst the local teams only need to override localized, not shared content for their needs. So after this introduction, I would just pass the mic to Toby, actually, for a demo of live copy.
Yes, thank you, Laura. So let me quickly share my screen with the demo environment and switch my window. So before we take a look in the admin center of the admin interface of Magnolia, just a really brief overlook of the website, what we are looking at, or the demo instance we are looking at, because what we have here right now is just a demo website in a demo environment, which is actually a e-commerce website. So we have a classical website which brings together marketing content like components like cards and images together with product content, so also e-commerce content in one website. Just to showcase you what we are looking at today. Jumping into the backend system, I think most of you already know Magnolia. If not, this is the admin center. This is where the authors actually creating the experiences for the websites. And what we have multiple modules or applications in this instance. The thing what is today most important, or what we will look at, is the Pages application, because the Pages application is the one where we manage the websites and bring together all the contents from the different modules. The Pages application can manage multiple websites. So this is this multi-site approach. You see here each node or each entry here in this list is actually one website. What is important to understand is that we can have multiple websites, and with live copy, you see it here in the live copy column, we can have copies of a master. So actually we have a content master, which is the home website. And then for specific specific country websites, we have live copies. You can see it, the master have the crown, and the child pages, the copy pages have the crown with the clip here. So they have different icons, so you already see indicated where the copies are. One of these websites is not only consisting from one site, they also have a tree structure. So also subpages are included. And also these sites are part of the copy. So actually, this is the main benefit. You copy the whole tree of a website. But as you will see during the demo, you can also add additional pages or components on top of the copied version. But first of all, jump into the home page. This is the page we just looked at in the preview. And you see this is just a normal what you see is what you get editor of Magnolia, where you can add components, you can manage the experiences. And what you can also see if we open the German version of this website, for example, you see the page looks, at the first place, it looks completely identical, so there is no difference. The only difference, what is directly visible, that there is a different default local. So this is already a very specific thing. Then we can manage the master content tree. We manage in all the available languages. So in this case, we have 8 different languages configured, and we translate the content in the master actually into all the specific languages. But in the language-specific subtree, so in this version, in the German subpage, we have just a subset of these languages. So in this case, we only have German and English, and German is in this case the default language. So this is already very important to understand. Translation and content management is always in the master content. So the big question is now how we can, the creation of this child page, of the live copy page is the first step. But what is if we add new components or we do some change of a component in the master? Let's do this together. So we take this card component here, for example. We open the component dialog and just choose another image from the image application. So for now, let's go with this studio picture here. We choose the picture from the image application and say, okay, I want a new picture here. And in the preview, we already see the picture has changed. But important to understand is that the copied pages are not automatically updated. So if I look at the German version of the page, we see that the image is not changed here. And how do we get the change now in the copy? Is actually over the push action. So if I select the root of the live copy, I can push all the changes either from the one page or of the whole tree into my connected live copies. With the click on the action, I get a selection of or the list actually of all the live copies. I can select the German version and I can push the changes to my German live copy page actually. This just takes a couple of seconds. I can open the page again and I see the image is changed. But now, what is actually a very important use case for a lot of our customers is that they want to do their own thing from time to time for specific small portions of the page. And for this, they want to override or protect things from overriding from the content master. And this protection can be done on different levels, actually on 3 different levels. We're very flexible there. So the first level would be the page level. With an action, we can protect this whole page from updates from the master content. But we can also be more specific. So in a more granular way, that we can just protect a whole component. So for example, this card component here, I could disable the updates for this complete component, or even on page level. So on field level. So I could really say, this specific image here, I want in my German language version, I want to have a specific different image, but the rest of the content, the text and everything else should be the same as in the master. So I can, with the click on the icon here, I can protect this field. I can select my own image here. Maybe I want to have the flowers. I save it and just save the changes. And in the German version now, my component is updated. And if I would re-push the changes from my master content here, my protection would work and my content is not overwritten from the master content actually. So I push again to the German version, open up the page again, and you will see that the image is protected and it's not overwritten from the master. What is also interesting is that we can define things on top of the live copy. So from the content which is coming from the master content. So I could go ahead and just add a component here. So for example, a simple text component. I can add this directly here, like a custom title, just a title I want to have in my German version. So this would be one use case. I want to add something on top of the existing things. So adding here title here. Or another use case would be that I have a new component in my master content. So let's add a text here also in the master content. So for example, a text, a title, name it live copy is a very powerful tool. Just save it and getting the component running here. And what is the use case actually is that I already want to translate this component now in the live copy. So I switch to my German, to the German version of the page actually. And I can do the translation manually, so I can do it in the dialog. But what we also have, just to showcase also additional feature, would be a instant translation live in the preview. So I can click on the instant translation, and this component, because it's also already there, will be automatically translated via DeepL. So I get my translation into German. It looks really good. And this component I want to push now also to the German version. So I push my changes again to the German version. I click on push the changes. And just to see that we can do this, open up the page again. And yeah, the text is there. It's already translated. So the translation is pushed with the new component. And my custom component, which is also defined there, is still there. So it's not removed. It's just working there. I can do things on top of the live copy. Yes, so this is actually what I wanted to show today. To quickly summarize this, what is live copy in general? We have a content master. We have a complete tree of pages, or master page and sub pages. So things which is just the same in every language specifica. And we create a live copy for each country, for each country site or division site. Could be also a different brand, or maybe different purposes for different portals or stuff like this. We can push changes always from top to down. So it's not possible to push it from down to up. And we already translate all the content in the master and pushing the things down there. But we can still do protection in the language variants. So like we saw on different levels, we can protect our content from overriding, and so also give the regional sites the possibility to do their own thing and customize their experience actually. Thank you.
Perfect.
Brilliant.
Thanks very much both for the for the talk. So you can see there's a few questions that have come in, which is always great to see. Yeah, so let's take the first one from Nicholas. So, hi, when pushing the changes, I saw that there's a button to push and publish. Does this override the default workflow with approval?
Actually, no, it would be also create a task. So the out of the box way, it's creating the task for the publication actually, but this can be also configured. So if you want the direct publication or the workflow publication, but in the end, it just triggers the publication actually. Yeah.
Brilliant, thank you. We've got a question here from Stefan. How does pushing changes from master to the local site relate to publishing changes to public?
From master to local sites. Yeah, actually, it's a little bit answered already with the first question, right? Because I mean, you can push the changes to the local variant, but you don't have to push them actually to the public site already. So there's still the progress of, or the procedure. It's a little bit the thing of how you organize the team structure, if they should overlook the changes or it should be pushed directly. But the out of the box way is that you can actually choose if you want to push it, but not publish it, or push and publish directly. Yeah.
Brilliant, thank you. And we've got a question here from Mark. If I have 3 country home pages that each have a local language, like German, the Netherlands, and Poland, but also an English language version, can I push only the English translations from the German to Netherlands and Poland?
Actually, the push is actually pushing everything in general. So that's a one-to-one push, because otherwise, I mean, language configuration can be changed also later. So additional language can be activated or not. What actually is happening in the UI is that through the site configuration, you decide which language should be available and manageable, but the copy process in general will just push all the language translations. Yeah. So you can filter actually on the UI then what you want to use for the editation and what you want to be able to serve to the front end.
Great, hope that answers your question there, Mark. Got another question here. What happens if first a component is added to some container in a subsite, and then another component is added to the same container in the master?
I think this is goes a little bit in the direction of the ordering of the components, probably, right? I think it depends. I mean, if in the container there is already a like we saw, actually we did it in the demo, that I added in an existing live copy container. I added the another component. But if there is a section with a component which is not a live copy section, then an additional section would be created actually. But if you add the custom component to a live copy section, there's no problem. And if a new component is coming into the section, it could be that you have to protect if you want to manually change the order, then you would have to protect the section actually, I would say. But there's a little bit of a race condition there. Yeah, but from adding it in an existing one is no problem.
Brilliant, great, thank you, Tobias. Got another question here. How can I see if the master has changes that are not pushed already, in case I started working and finished it at a later time and I forgot what I did?
Pushing already. I mean, there is no comparison tool right now. I mean, this goes a little bit in the direction of if there are changes, right, which are not pushed. It would be a great idea to get something like this. But right now you would have to push and see if your local site is changed actually. This would be, I would say, how you can find it out if there are unpushed changes.
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you for that question there, Philip. The next question here. A component which you disable from upgrades from the master site, is it possible to connect it again to master site? If yes, what happened with the content?
Yes, actually, it's not that the link is breaking. It's not removed. The link is just disabled. So there's just a property which says not updated anymore. So if you reactivate it and you push again, then it's actually it's upgraded again. So it's no problem. Actually, the link is still persistent. It's not like the link is removed. It's just disabled actually.
Brilliant, thanks for the question. So next one here, as a content author, I would like to be notified if the master has been updated and the content push failed due to my lock, so that I can inspect the master and copy the content manually if I like it. Any ideas on how to facilitate this?
It would be verified. It sounds to me like a custom workflow somehow, right? So you can inform. I mean, the question is, when do you define that the update is done? So you would somehow to trigger something like a workflow or to inform the users. Could be done. I mean, this could be maybe done with the publication workflow, but somehow with a workflow you have to inform them, no? Like the group or with a messaging. Yeah. I think it depends also a little bit on the project organization team, because the question is if you do the information or the notifying via Magnolia, or you have nobody. I think you have a project management tool or like tasks, no, where you inform the other users. So it's a little bit the question of the organization, I would say.
Brilliant. I've got another question here. How do we know what is in sync? When we have 80 plus sites with 30 plus languages, which page components are having a local version? Disable updates from master. Do we have any dashboard or some sort of view?
You see it. So you can check it from top down. This is all already available. So you can check where are my copies, and you can also jump to them. There's an action for it to check from top down where are copies from the site you select. And then the question is with the, I mean, in the overview, I don't know if you saw it, you have an indicator on the component which defines if the updates are disabled or not, and if it's a link component or a custom added component. So there's no icon if it's a custom added or on top added one, but there's not right now. There's no dashboard, but we heard about this requirement before. So yeah, in some way we will. I hope we will support this in the future, Laura. I'm not sure if there's already plans for it, but I think we missed the question before. If we can remove a page, right?
That's a good thing. Yeah.
Can you also remove a page recommend in a copy? Yes. So removing the page is no problem, because then it's just not there anymore, and it would also not be automatically recreated. Removing a component is possible, but with one exception, because if we have a like a component wrapper, like a column layout, what we use is a section, and you want to remove one of the components inside, you have to disable the updates on the section, and then you have the complete freedom to also remove a subcomponent of this component. But so this is actually how it could work. But I mean, you have to interrupt at some level. So, and then you can also remove or delete components inside of this one. So it's possible, but with a little bit of a exception.
Okay, great. What's the next question coming up from your side, Tobias?
How are links handled? For example, what happens to a page link to the master if the target page does not exist in this? For example, what happens to a page link of the master if the target page does not exist in a subsite? Yeah, normally there's the relinking. So if you have tree and you have in the tree site A and B links to A, and if you copy the page, then it's relinked. So it's also working inside of the tree. But sure, if the link is copied but not there in the target, I mean, yeah, I mean, then you have to override it somehow, right? I mean, you have to take care of it, and then protect the feed, I would say, and set it manually. Yeah. Oh, hope this answers it.
Next question: does live copy support single domain?
I mean, top level domain is the question, probably, right? And then with com.de and com.en, I think this is possible. We already had use cases like this. No, because we have, yeah, it's a question. Because you have the languages in the site. It does not really make sense, right? Because, I mean, you have the languages in the site. So the question would be then that you have, I'm not really sure how this is meant. We would have to look at the configuration. What is really the go there? Because normally you have a complete tree, and this tree is like one domain, right? And you copy the whole page tree. So I'm not really sure how this is meant, because the language is also part of the live copy. So this does not really make sense to make language variants as a live copy. But maybe I get it wrong. So we have to check what this is really meant.
Yeah, we might have to check up on that one. I'm just going to let everybody know. So we are coming up on time, but I don't want to affect the flow of the Q&A. We've only got a few left, so obviously feel free to stay on. We've got this call for another 15 minutes, so we'll carry on working our way through these questions and just before we wrap up, because I wouldn't want to affect the flow. So if you did want to drop off, any links to documentations that have been shared today, we'll make sure that gets sent out in follow-up communications. So yeah, on with the next question. This one's from Samina. So to use it between nodes, the child nodes have to be created as a copy from the master one, There is no possibility to apply this retroactive. Also, it does not have the possibility to apply it just to certain pages from the nodes. Example, just the home page, but not sub-pages.
It's possible. This is no problem. You can also do it for single pages, actually. Only thing you have to keep in mind is that, I mean, it's a little bit of a pitfall. Technically, it's no problem. You can also, for a typical example would be the about page, for example, or the specific pages, what could be used. But the problem is relinking is difficult because if you only make a live copy of one single page, you don't have the context of this tree, and working with links is then a little bit difficult. But with pages without any links, then it's no problem. But you have to keep in mind that this is an exception, what you have to consider.
Brilliant. Thanks again for the question. Next one. Hi, every live copy needs a site definition.
Yeah, in general, every page needs or makes sense to have a site definition. I mean, you want to connect the domain, you want to make the language configuration. So yes, I would say, because also there's also part of the documentation. There's a specific language configuration for the live copy. So yes, I would say yes. Just yeah.
Okay, and then Martin's asking, is the content really copied to the local page, or is it just referenced and at runtime both pages are retrieved?
No, it's an actual copy. Yeah, it's a real copy, actually, yes.
Okay, and then we've got a question from James. When using in a headless environment, how are live copies selected?
Actually, it's no problem. The demo page we just saw is also a headless page. Generally, this is just on content side, so the headless is not really it's not really different there. And the headless rendering is just working, and the green bars are managed through our front-end library. So, or did I get the question wrong? It's also gone now, right? Where's the question? Maybe somebody upvoted? Not sure. Don't see it anymore.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. It seems to have vanished. It looks like we've got a few more questions in the public chat. So let's have a look. See, we've got to try and work out which ones we've answered and which ones we haven't, because some of them have come across, I think. So
I think this one, yeah, I don't.
Yeah. Can you remove a page or component in a copy, or only add or overwrite stuff? I don't think we've answered that question.
I think we got this one, yeah. So yes, you can remove, but yeah. I think there's one with personalization. Is the copy? Yeah, ist die Kopie einer Seite mit Personalisierung nutzbar, analog einer Variante? I mean, you can combine it even. You can use personalization on top of live copy, actually, if this answers the question, Sandra. So this is both. So you can also copy actually the variants are also copied. So you can also prepare the personalization based on variants on the live master, and then copy it to the live copy pages. So yes.
Okay. Is there any more for any more? Any other questions we can spot?
So I think hopefully. Otherwise, if there are any open questions, you can also reach out to us also via mail. It's also no problem.
Yeah, if your question hasn't been answered, perhaps just drop it in the Q&A box one last time, and it'll appear at the top for us. But if not, I think we probably should wrap up in a couple of minutes, because, yeah, we've been overwhelmed by all these questions, which is obviously fantastic. Looks like we could probably, looks like we could probably wrap up things there. There's no more questions that have come in, so brilliant. That's fantastic. Well, look, thank you everybody for joining. I wish you all the very best with the rest of the day. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.